it's a sign of the class of a person and of a club. When they get beaten, they still have a chat. And Ozzie, well, I really appreciate your time. Must be a tough pill to swallow today because you guys, I thought you had it at one stage.
Yeah, look, we had a good season. I think we really went through the classes, rapidly, and the team's very inexperienced. They haven't really had a lot of games combined, and ultimately, I think when it comes to finals and oppositions, putting a little bit more work into your team. Obviously we've got a running team. We just didn't have enough time really to adapt to be able to produce our best football. The weather is obviously we wanted a dry
sunny day,
yeah, and unfortunately last week we got the wind and the rain, and today we got the wind. So, but look, all credit to Oakley. They've they sort of peppered. They had a bit of a lull at the start of the year and built, and yeah, they deserve to win at the end of it. I think that they stuck to their structures. They were able to position themselves in positions that we just kept kicking it to them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we asked to chip the ball around and move in different directions, but the pressure, and it's perceived pressure, a lot of it, but that's where experience. I think the team will only get better.
I watched the whole game, and it was a great game to watch. Obviously, if you're proud of the girls because they've gone so far. Disappointed they lost, and it was a fantastic game to watch. But just from an observational point of view, I just noticed exactly what you said, because you said at quarter time, girls, you've got to play smart footy. If you've got the wind, you've got to be smarter. Otherwise, it can creep up on you, and they'll play smarter footy than you, and then you're in trouble. And I just noticed that their pressure in their forward line was better than yours.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think that, as I said, a lot of our players haven't had finals experience. A lot of them have improved rapidly throughout the course of the year. Football intelligence is something that we've been really trying to work on. Just positioning yourself, knowing how to read the play, but also creating play as well. And that's the areas that... when the other team started to congest and put the bigger bodies in, our efforts were just in trying to fight for the ball rather than sometimes letting it go and then strategically letting it open up. And we just weren't able to, as hard as we've been trying, we just haven't been able to adapt to that. I think it's going to be a pretty... I think it'll be a pretty tough grand final coming. I think that Oakley has got a bit of a chance, but both teams do structure up well, and they do have a lot of experience, which we lack. So it should be a really, really good game to watch. And I think that the women's, the women's league in Div 1 and 2 has been really competitive this year. We felt like we could beat any team on our day. But, unfortunately, we fell short, but that doesn't take away, how much the girls have really just improved out of sight.
Other than their improvement, what's the thing you're going to take out of this year? What's made you smile? What's been the most fun for you this year?
Oh, look, the presence of... the women's team in the Bentleigh Football Netball Club has just risen, and we're not just, the women's team aren't just an offshoot. We're really a part of the club. We've had support from, obviously families, friends, but also within the club. We've had, players from our firsts, our under-19s, coming to watch us, getting excited to watch us. We've had some fantastic victories along the way. The biggest thing I take away is just where they started to where they've got. just is a fantastic launching pad for next year. You know, I think that our last couple of weeks is real character building. I think that there's a lot they can take out of that. Sometimes when you go on a run and you start winning, a lot of games, human nature, we get a little bit complacent and think it's going to happen. So you realise that, as teams adapt to you, you've got to continue to adapt, and you've got to keep them chasing. So, you've got to keep them guessing. So we just didn't have the ability to do that when it really, really counted. But, ultimately, the girls should be very, very proud of themselves. They've had a great year on and off the field. The social functions have been dominated by the women, which was one of the goals that I set as well.
That's the most important thing, isn't it?
Oh, look, it's really...
At times.
It's very, very important, because it's presence, It's actually feeling like they're a very important part of the club, not just, just another team. They're well and truly a whole, part of the whole club and the fabric of the club. So, I think that they should be very, very proud. And I've got to look at things with the glass half full. If you asked me at the start of the year if we won 10 games and got into the finals, and it certainly didn't disgrace ourselves. So with what I saw in our first couple of weeks at training, I would have been pretty happy with that. So that's real credit to the girls, because they were able to achieve so much.
I think you've summed it up perfectly, Ozzie. Sport, life in general, it's not necessarily about the wins, it's the journey. I know it's an old cliche, but it's so true. And I can see just in my time having dealt with Bentleigh this year, there has been an amazing development in the girls, and of course I'm sure you've learned a hell of a lot as well. But thanks so much for your time, mate, and congratulations for getting into a prelim and to get the girls where they have got so far. But next year, maybe another grand final, or maybe a grand final.
Watch out 2020, because we're young, and now we've got a little bit of venominess, and I think that's going to put us in good shape for next year for sure.
Good on you, Ozzie. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Good on you, mate. I really appreciate it.
Get your GameFace on.